This study reports on an intermediate design phase for developing a dictionary app of Italian idioms. The application is called Idiomatica and is addressed to foreign learners. In the current research, we try to uncover the flaws of one prototype with the aim in mind of offering exhaustive information on small smartphone screens.
For addressing this challenge, we leveraged the expertise of a multidisciplinary team made up by lexicographers and human factors specialists. To provide a background, human factors or ergonomics is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of the interactions between humans and other elements of a technological system, and its goal is to design better solutions to improve human well-being and the overall system performance. This is achieved by considering different aspects of the interaction related to physical, cognitive, and organizational factors. Core pillar of human factors is a human-centered design approach. Such an approach, defined in a dedicated ISO standard, as the term suggests, focuses on the people impacted by the system, called stakeholders. Main feature of this approach used for designing Idiomatica is the iteration of design cycles. Cycles envision the participation of stakeholders in all the design stages, including the research phase, where stakeholders' needs are identified, and the evaluation phase, where stakeholders' feedback about the system prototypes is collected to improve and drive the design efforts. In particular, user-based evaluation of prototypes can be of two types, formative and summative. Formative evaluations are assessments typically made to collect the user's feedback needed to understand how to adjust the prototypes across subsequent iteration cycles, while summative evaluations are aimed at assessing most stable and complete prototypes that already went through different iteration cycles. The work we are presenting here is based on a user-based formative evaluation of one of the Idiomatica prototypes. Such a formative evaluation is highlighted in the red box you can see in this chart, displaying the human-centered design steps we performed for developing Idiomatica. Details on such a current stage of our path will be provided in the following. Past work has been devoted to the stages related to the research, the analysis of stakeholder needs, and the design of different prototypes together with lexicographers and prospective users of the dictionary, while future work will include summative evaluation to compare the different prototypes of our dictionary app.
The two prototypes of Idiomatica selected to undergo specific tests are displayed here. Both prototypes offer basic information on top of the page, such as meaning, one usage example, and frequent lexical substitutes. In the by-scroll prototype, information is accessed by scrolling the screen from top to bottom and vice versa. In contrast, in the by-tap dictionary, the user clicks on the labels of the corresponding data types, which are listed as separated rows of a table view. Additional indicators group together the items that are better suited for reception and production tasks, informazioni per la comprensione and informazioni per la produzione. Before a comparative evaluation is carried out, the by-tap prototype deserves a special analysis, since its layout is very uncommon and it offers indirect access to information through metalinguistic labels, which may be difficult to understand. Therefore, to highlight any weaknesses in the by-tap prototype, a formative study was carried out. During the pandemic lockdown, 10 Chinese students, B1 level of L2 Italian, participated in an online formative assessment of the ByTab prototype using a video conferencing platform. Users performed 5 tasks on 2 different idioms using the prototype in an interactive online version. This video shows an effective search. The student is unsure about the best option to choose, looks up in the dictionary, and finally selects the correct answer. At the end of the experimental sessions, participants were administered a questionnaire on the usability and perceived usefulness of the dictionary. Then they were interviewed to collect their opinions and suggestions to improve the dictionary.
Ex-post video analysis was aimed at extracting different kinds of data, such as which dictionary items were consulted during the different exercises, for how long, what were users' comments, and so on. We used as evaluation variables the task correctness, the number of effective searches, and perceived usability and usefulness. In particular, effective searches reported in the table were defined as the user's visualizations of the dictionary items that are useful to correctly serve a certain task, divided by the types of task, meaning pragmatic, formal, and register. For example, for a task addressing the register of the idiom, last row of the table, the context of use and the register items are the most useful to be consulted. Therefore, when the user accesses this information in the dictionary and gives a correct answer, this is counted as one instance of effective search.
Given the fine-grained analysis carried out, which records each action performed by the users, the dataset consists of an average of 220 actions recorded per participant. The entire dataset of 2,324 occurrences allowed for statistical evaluation of the user consultation effectiveness and efficacy. The first step in data analysis was an observation of the participants' performance in the individual tasks. The evaluation estimated the number of correct answers given, showing that for participants, participant 2, 7, 8, and 9, gave more correct than incorrect answers. This information made it possible to divide the participants into 2 groups, according to their level of performance, and thus to compare the interaction of the 2 groups with the application. The 2 groups have the following composition: B1 plus group, participant 2, 7, 8, and 9. B1 group, participant 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10. The 2 groups differed significantly not only as regards the frequency of correct answers, but also in terms of effective dictionary consultation made by each group. The comparison between the performances of the 2 groups was made with Kruskal-Wallis test, which returned the values shown in the slide.
Furthermore, the results obtained by the 2 subgroups yield interesting clues. First of all, even understanding the meaning of an idiom is a difficult task for the less competent students, the B1, who scored very poorly on these tasks. Yet almost all their correct answers were given by consulting the dictionary. Likewise, the B1 plus students tend to look up in the dictionary for meaning tasks, getting very good results. Unfortunately, they very seldom consult the dictionary, about 30% of the times, to perform formal tasks, even if they get very high scores.
If we look at the most frequently consulted items in the dictionary and the average duration of the consultations, we observe that 2 groups, B1 and B1 plus, deploy different strategies. They did not differ significantly in terms of the average times to complete individual tasks. Yet the analysis of the consultation times revealed significant different strategies in the two groups with respect to two dictionary items that are of help in formal tasks: inflection table and linguistic structure, as shown in the graph.
The dictionary offers indeed two types of items to describe the morphosyntactic or formal properties of idioms. First, the traditional inflection tables, and second, a new type of descriptions based on Fillmore's frame semantics and FrameNet annotations. The struttura linguistica or linguistic structure highlights the participants to the event described by the idiom and points out their morphosyntactic properties. For example, in "Mi fascio sempre la testa prima di rompermela" or "I always freak out before something really bad happens," which literally means I always bandage my head before breaking it, it is highlighted that the pronouns me stands for the person who freaks out and la stands for the head.
Therefore, we decided to further analyze the strategies used in consulting the linguistic structure and inflection tables. Mean times and total times spent consulting these items were calculated. That analysis between the groups revealed opposite behaviors. The B1 group consulted inflection tables more, whilst the B1 Plus referred mainly to the linguistic structure. This strategy is confirmed by in-group analysis. For the B1 group, the total consultation time of inflection tables were significantly greater than the consultation times for the linguistic structure. For the B1 Plus group, both average and total consultation times per items were significantly different in favor of the linguistic structure. All significant tests and values are presented in the slide.
These results encourage, on the one hand, further studies on the usefulness of the linguistic structure item for learning formal properties of idioms. The more skilled users who look up this item very carefully and for long times seemed in fact to be able to extract the necessary information to perform formal tasks correctly without going back to the dictionary again and again. Therefore, they seem to have learned the necessary information from the dictionary data. On the other hand, these results have pointed out how to improve the dictionary microstructural organization by including the linguistic structure among the information for production tasks. In addition to this data, during the final interviews, the participants stated that they were not aware of the existence of the labels suggesting items for reception and items for production tasks. They also declared that they did not understand the meaning of other labels used in the dictionary. Therefore, following the users' feedbacks, the BiTAP prototype was redesigned as shown on this slide.
The final questionnaire administered to users revealed, on the other hand, that the app is perceived as more useful than usable. And this gives hope that the prospective users will be motivated to practice in the use of such an information-rich monolingual dictionary. Needless to say, data from the less competent participants suggests that these users would profit from a bilingual or bilingualized version of the dictionary.
Thank you for your attention.